Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thank you for subscribing. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I really appreciate it. And by the way, click on that little bell that you see down below. And every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. So, yay. So today, I'm actually reviewing a movie that came out a few months ago. I was going to say a couple, but I think it's been more than that. In August, end of August. Anyway, it's now November, and I never saw it back then, but now today it's on DVD, it's on streaming, it's available on disc. Now you can get a chance to watch it if, like me, you missed it when it hit theaters. And I think it's definitely worth a look. The critics didn't like it, but I did. I'm going to tell you some things I liked, some things I didn't like. But first, let me give you a quick nutshell. The movie is called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? It is rated PG-13. It's an hour and 49 minutes long. And the movie review mom grade that I'm giving it is a B, and I'll tell you why. So first, in a quick nutshell, I absolutely adore Kate Blanchett in any movie that she's in. She's an Academy Award-winning actress who is superb in everything. So she does not disappoint in this movie as well. In fact, she really makes this movie. It would not have been nearly as good without her. She's fantastic. This is a quirky dramedy, and it's based on the best-selling novel in 2012 called Where'd You Go, Bernadette? Same name, by Maria Semple. Now, I've never read it, so I can't really speak to how well it was adapted to the novel. However, I have talked to people who have read the book and watched the movie, and I can point out a few things that they said was a little bit different, depending on one was better than the other, depending on what the issue was. It's an Amazon Studios production, which is pretty obvious because you see lots of product placement. Plus, there's mention of Jeff Bezos. Whatever, that doesn't bother me. Anyway, some quick tips for parents. First of all, there's just a tiny bit of profanity. However, there are 2 F-bombs. One of them is spoken by a teenage girl. I hate that. I hate that when kids swear. I don't know if it's supposed to be adorable, but I hate it. I don't like it at all. There's some talk of miscarriages, talk of peeing quite a bit, and some negative representations of the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association. Now, mothers are definitely going to be more interested in this movie than kids. Kids are going to be bored, but I think it's really appealing to introspective moms who may equally feel like they have lost themselves in the busy life of raising kids. And that's one of the big themes of the movie. And speaking of themes, let me tell you a few more. The movie addresses mental health, therapy, anxiety, depression, the sense of belonging in several different ways, belonging to society, people, family, and feeling like you are contributing. There's an interesting insight into parents who are completely blind to what their kids are up to, marriage, family, mother-daughter relationships specifically, creativity, and finding your unique purpose in life and being true to that unique purpose. And that's often why we become lost, is we've forgotten who we really are and what makes us unique and what is our unique contribution to the world, and helping our loved ones to remember who they are as well. And then there's just kind of another little tidbit about identity theft. Now, some things that I really liked. I mentioned Kate Blanchett, fantastic. Billy Crudup plays her husband, and I actually think he did a really good job. I've heard that his character in the book is not nearly as likable, and so he's just kind of a crowd pleaser, I think, almost in any movie. So the 2 of them were paired well, I thought. Again, believable and relatable in some ways as well. I would love to be as intelligent and wealthy as Billy Crudup's character is in the movie. So in that regard, maybe not as relatable as I would like, but certainly very likable. There are some really fun cameos in the movie, including Lawrence Fishburne, and he's really more than a cameo performance. He's in actually a really important scene. He's in a couple of scenes, I think. Anyway, who doesn't love Lawrence Fishburne? He's great. Megan Mullally, who I can always use lots more of her. I just think she's a fun character actress. And in this movie, she was just, it truly was a cameo, and she didn't get to sparkle like she normally does, but she made me chuckle. Steve Zahn, who's also another really likable character that usually plays in comedies and as a fun sidekick. And in this one, he really is a little cameo performer. You get to see some beautiful architecture because Cate Blanchett's character is an architecture, and she works in Seattle. So you also get to go to the very cool Seattle library. And sadly, it's like a split second. You don't get to see much. She mentions it's one of her favorite places to go. And if I lived in Seattle, that would be one of my favorite places too. If you go to Seattle on vacation or a business trip, definitely visit the library. And you're thinking, library, schlibrary, how boring is that? It's a beautiful building with some really cool features. So seriously, you need to go check that out. And then also we got to go to the Chihuly Glass Museum while we were in town. Stunning, beautiful. Definitely put that on your list. And you actually get to see one of the Chihuly chandeliers in a store that she walks in, and she comments on it. And then the girl at the reception desk has no clue what this beautiful piece of glass is that's turned into this lighted chandelier. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful. I got to go to Seattle for the very first time finally last year, and got to go to some of these places and see some of these amazing things. And it's just so unfair that her character just rips on Seattle the whole time. And Seattle's a great city. I really enjoyed my time there. Now, I also really love the scene where Cate Blanchett's husband is meeting with a therapist to try to talk about what they can do to help her. They're talking about medication and therapy and all of these kinds of things. At the same time that Bernadette is meeting with an old friend of hers, Lawrence Fishburne, and she has this great relationship with him. He's so kind and patient, and she just, vomits all, not literally, but just, spills everything that she's feeling, and he quietly listens, lets her get it off her chest, and everybody needs to have a best friend like that. Anyway, and he gives her very different counsel, which turns out to be the right counsel. And I don't want to give everything away, but it's a really powerful scene as you see the contrast between these two approaches to help someone that they love. Anyway, I really liked that scene, thought it was really powerful. I also really liked the daughter's narrative throughout the movie and her perception of life, her perception of her mom and what's happening to her mom and about her mom, all of that kind of stuff. And I was actually really pleased because this is Emma Nelson's very first feature film. And I thought she did a really great job and has a great future in movies. You also get to visit Antarctica. However, technically it's Greenland. Originally, they were going to film some of these scenes in Antarctica behind or in front of a green screen. And Cate Blanchett put her foot down and insisted on authenticity. So they actually filmed in Greenland. Antarctica is a little problematic for filming. But anyway, you get to see some beautiful landscapes and vistas and ocean and penguins. And that was really, really fun. There's a really great scene towards the very end of the movie that kind of ties everything together that just made me cry. And it was really because, again, of Cate Blanchett. The story is fine. It takes a while to get there, but it was just her again at the end of the movie that just got me all teary-eyed and made me want to be better at being there for my loved ones. And I would say that's a huge theme of the movie, is being there, knowing how to love your loved ones, helping them recognize what they're going through and helping them go through it in various ways. And again, I don't want to spoil stuff. Keep watching, by the way, during the closing credits to watch the story unfold. I thought it was really well done. There's kind of a thematic song in the movie, Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time, and listen to the lyrics. The first time you You hear the song, the mother and daughter are just singing it in the car, and they're just having a moment, and it plays again towards the end, and listen to the lyrics at the end, and you'll go, oh, wow, that matches the themes of this movie really well. So don't want to give that away either. Anyway, another actress who's in the movie is Kristen Wiig, and I just always got the biggest kick out of her on Saturday Night Live. I thought she was hilarious, so talented. But after she left the TV show and has starred in several other movies, I don't know if she's just picking bad movies or they're just not really showcasing her total package talents. They're just never that great. But I liked her in this role. She gets to kind of go a little crazy at times, which is fun. That's when she really shines. But she also gets to play a real person, so she's toned down a little bit as well. And I really liked that contrast. I also usually really like Judy Greer in movies, including this one. I thought she did great, although I thought she was terrible in the movie Playing with Fire that's currently in theaters. Then again, almost everyone in that movie was horrible. It was just a really disappointing movie. And her character was just ridiculous. So, you know, she did the best she could with that character. And then finally, there was a really nice balance of humor and drama. Dramedy is what we're calling it. Now, only a few things are on my list of things that I didn't like. First of all, the movie starts off, and I just did not like Bernadette's self-absorbed, mean-spirited personality. And I was like, I know I'm supposed to be rooting for her, but I didn't really like her. And I think probably the problem with that is that director Richard Linklater just took way too long to help the audience understand the complexity of her, this character. And so the first part of the movie just drags. You're kind of annoyed. You're like, why am I watching this? And then it starts to pick up speed. You get her. And now you're just trying to watch her figure everything out, as well as her family and her loved ones. So for that main reason, I'm giving the movie lower marks than what I think I normally would. And I mentioned how she just gripes about Seattle the whole time. And so I would have liked to have seen more of Seattle so that, again, you could see that contrast to see how beautiful Seattle can be and where she was in her headspace as well as in her heart space. We all have to figure out who we are. And as life evolves around us and as our circumstances change, we have to evolve as well. And to be able to find and ground ourselves in who we are each time we move or go through a new phase of life, sometimes we need help from family and friends and other various things. Anyway, that's my review in a nutshell. I think women will enjoy this movie more than men, and I think moms will enjoy this movie probably more than maybe young single women. Not to say you won't enjoy it if you don't fit in those categories. I'm just saying, as I've read other reviews, the people that say this, what is this movie? Who is this movie for? Those were basically written by men or people kind of not in those categories. But I was really touched. I really enjoyed it. The first half or the first act, like I said, drags, but then it picks up steam in the second act. And then by the third act, I was all in. Anyway, thank you again for subscribing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.